Switzerland. The system of democracy is a bit, we can even find a way for our own Ghanaian system where it will be good for us, where we can have the participation of our chiefs and people, participating in politics. Hey, I don't know. Ivan, anyway, over to you, Joe Latte.
Dr. Ryan, who is a democracy and your fixed template?
Yeah.
Your friend saying cast and stone at how far you have to democracy, no far you need to contextualize it. And this I heard the American version of democracy different from what is being practiced in the UK and several other African countries. So democracy you need fixed template to be these are the models, and then China is telling the world their version is a democracy, but it's a different version of democracy. You understand? This notion that Africa democracy MYN, it is not true. And I said, okay, BI is entitled to, because Dr. Ren, there are countries in Africa that are not democratic. There are countries in Africa that have been under iron hands for over 50, 40 years. What is I say? Or some minor the level of progress at the same. They are no different from the Yatihuni. So the argument that Africa needs strong, we have had strong people in the past.
Yenya Rollins for 19 years. Rollins.
Yes, for 19 years. Oko Cameroon, there are several years.
40 years.
Cameroon. So it is not true. Say Africa, yenya strong people and strong. No, you don't build modern countries. No, we don't build with that particular thing. You see, democracy a grow when you have enlightened citizens. And America, Europe, easy a bit kakrano. When people are not enlightened, when people are not intelligent, now do you more yet democracy? My catch also at say, what is the kind of nam at the shark racket one sem? The next thing to expect is bleeding. And it's a wood nimiansa. So we are mind a moon nimiansa, no more the tom somewhere democracy. Is the reason why some democratic countries in Africa like Nigeria, all of a sudden there is a military coup d'etat. Burkina Faso, some president, all of a sudden there is a coup d'etat. There are several other countries, all of a sudden there is a coup d'etat. Said the citizens are well abreast with information, that transparency and accountability. State institutions run effectively. I'm not sure that we'll be having these problems. And again, China and Russia arguments that I've been making, I am not saying that China is not rich. But you see, China, run state-owned or state-led capitalism, unlike America where there is a private-led capitalism. Good. So, China, in as much as people argue, say China is the third force, and I say one of the dominant economic way, it is the country that is rich, not the people. If you go to China, it is the country that is, because some of the companies in Africa, contract, they are state-owned enterprises, so they are not private-owned. So China as a country is rich, but the people are not rich. And because that private market space, where individual that economic incentive to better your life is the reason why I'm saying that people don't go there say but it doesn't mean that China not here. So I think we need to make that clear distinction. The country is rich, they are making a lot of gains, but everything is in the hands of the government because it is a state-led capitalism or more pretty. But in America, it is a private space. Because you have the money.
Yes, because China no I won't say one chairman the Central Military Commission no and no the de facto leader of China. I quite say in a way even though you was Jinping you sound so de facto leader or a military. It is a mistake the military side takes over.
Yes. So, and I even said that Chinese Communist Party has been in power for over how many years? Over about 50 years in here. So, yes, the mere fact that China is gaining certain economic dominance or grow, I don't translate into the lives of the people and people who have been to China. In recent times, but it is not over compared to America and other way, because over here per capita, in terms of these three countries, America is far ahead. Over here in terms of human development index, America is far advanced because richness, our private sector and them, but it is to the government. Enti sa abrabono eno ka ho bi na mede ye example say democracy no we ni na very effective. It created that economic incentive people within the country betimi ayusu their tribal abrabo aye ni. So we can make the argument democracy no there be continue to argue say is the best unless obi or the alternative, because those who are saying say any the best, Churchill can say or say if you think democracy is not the best, bring the others. Not tell you think they are the best. So when I say democracy is not the best, then you would say the free say buano. And from where I sit, because that is the only system of governance. To be part of the process. It is the only system of government. Emma obia akwenya, whether rich or poor, educated or not, sick or well, Emma obia akwenya to be part of the decision-making process. But many part of it has been truncated. And if you want to achieve the dividend that comes with it, you will not get it. It's the reason why we are struggling. Now, Africa, where countries here, Obia saw a democracy, but and democracy.
Autocratic leadership.
Oh, yes. And you're interfacing with democracy. A democracy of convenience. Democracy and dwelling on principle, values, and any actors. It is based, you're running at the behest of individuals in power. Our mono, they have a certain overreaching, controlling armor. The opposite, and then but in other places are well-established institutions and so forth. You can do those things. You can overrun the institutions and do anything you want. Donald Trump, the American president, look at how many times there was an attempt to impeach him. Even though they did not succeed, but there were processes used to get him out, even though he's the president elected by the people. So democracy, though, make no mistake, from where I sit and what the kind of economic dividends that Atimia deliver globally, I'm not sure that there is any other. People are talking about autocratic and so forth. And they just imagine, say Ghana you autocratic and Akufo-Addo, how do you get him out? How do you get him out?
So do you think we can have a system? I mean, because obviously there are types of leadership. About 7 or 8 types of leadership. And there's one that I studied, and I remember pace setters leadership, where it's all about the focus is about performance. And say if people can perform, they will be able to hold the members accountable. So if it's maybe a fun say your constituencies, we look at people who, when given the opportunity, within maybe 4 years of MP election, within 4 years, with 2 years, a bit me but within 2 years, say MP nam performing and somewhere or bomb can say and mra or so bomb ashena yet me asheshe mranoa. So when Timia, then we go for an early election within the 4 years, and then we bring in any powerful from then I think that will also be effective. But I mean, anyway, democracy is also expensive.
Yes, but you see, in those instances, the most difficult thing is if you want to set up a leadership framework, it must come with a certain legal regime, a certain legal framework. So when you mention the word like performance, word like incompetence, they are subjective.
Yeah.
They are subjective, and you can't weave any law around it. Because to say somebody has performed well or not performed well, indicators bang. You understand? So you need to outline everything. And maybe there is somebody in the UK who thinks Akufo-Addo is the best president.
Oh, the chairman of MPP cried Ashanti regional chairman of MPP. They say Akufo-Addo performance there. I've been crying UK no crying about pebbles about no crying about be in American Canada.
Yes. So you see, words like incompetence, words like performance, they are subjective. There are no objective conclusion on some of these things, depending on who is using and at what point in time I use. So that is why Nina lend certain credence to democracy. Say this is a well-tested, your friends, kind of system of government over the years, you know. And to me, I'll deliver a lot of economic dividends to a larger part of the world because it came a time. Now all the countries and they lead globally, and Western countries are emerging democracy until recent times, and the emergence of China and then Russia. Russia has been there, but it has been since Soviet Union collapse, you know. Now Russia until recently and re-emerging as a way. So yeah, Pediatimia standard the test of time. Atimia deliver a lot. It's democracy. It's the reason why there has been a consistent advocacy around the world. Say there are other forms of government and by force. But the Atimia standard the test of time. Since after the Second World War, Atimia sustaining we are here. Atimia poor and when we talk about all these things, there are several other components that you lose to touch on. Dr. Ren, if you go back to before the Second World War, now where the level of barbarism, brutality, and the kind of Nema and Nipaye, now they compare post Second World War democratic institutions coming on stream. They are different. No. Go and read about the First World War, the number of people who died, how people were butchered, how people were killed, and then go to the Second World War. And you save a lot of barbarism. You save a lot of problems. All because of democracy. And I'm saying, sir, I will not be a hypocrite and sit here and say, sir, democracy is the finest, is the best. No. There are a lot of challenges because, and then in recent time in Ghana, it is making it possible for even fools to get to power. And then it has been monetized. If you have money, you can get there. And Nippon with a hollow head, but with money, they will get there and they will be fooling around. So I want to challenge you. So going forward, it is up to us just to make sure that because it is leadership, we have the option to perfect it and make it better. And I think that is where we should be looking at. How I bet me I am in such a way say better. Now at me I deliver the kind of dividends now because America it is working, UK it is working, Germany it is working, France it is working, and several other countries. So why can't we do it here? I think that the attitude, black people, no, idea be a benya no, sabi, look at religion, church, and I had some of the church, church, decency and morality should be high, no. Look at and they turn Jesus, no, at the edit to cast at the expense of a young for and as a for there is nothing I have and then your mentality. The greed no way move. So sometimes let us not blame these institutions and framework in as for
Ivan, I think say I mean, for me, I've always said it's not even about the nature of the black people per se, the race black per se, but I think it also has to do with yenya adie bia eche ansana ya ma training yede refresher trainings amankofo. So for example, yemfa a year Cuba time to say the NCCE ananke jankene omo no ye national center for a year civic education yes omo na SNK bia omo drive the conversation about democracy. Senior the Ghanaian will be more informed about because democracy
is all about information. Democracy is all about information.
So
it's all about it. That's the biggest currency.
That's it. But you see, when it comes to Ghana, how many radio stations, how many media, how many people are being taught about the democracy now you're practicing? And today, I'm a my Ghana, the practice now you're practicing modules now yes. Some modules is only preview to a certain group of people. When Timian Pasian from SS Anko University and now Polytechnic be waka winning the Ekosu of Ghana. So that is why majority of our people don't even know what goes around them. And it's all because you demonstration, their mindset is a demonstration is a samamo, ye near boko jang, near quack near quack or no san, near quack didi, near bar, near GT shirt. So people don't even understand the concept. And that is where we fall short because we are not giving information to the Ghanaian to understand, say, Democracy means that you are a stakeholder. We are part and parcel of it. Now, I'll give you an example before we bemuno. Now, Joe can't say, we don't even have understanding. It is true. After 1957, till date, people say Kwame Nkrumah was president for 9 years. In 1957, Nkrumah was not president. 58, 59, he was not president. He was president in 1960. So, Obeye president for just 5 years, 200 and something days. After a year, the concept of governance, I want to say, Mikoye ejuma mabroni nyesika. Broni ni koye no, who were the people who taught us, say, every government institution belonged to you, the Ghanaian, and not the white man. I know we deal with so as a colonial master. People don't teach us. And you know, we are lost. We are finding this information and we don't know where to go. Okay, about religion, people even don't know the history about religion. They don't even know where the religion even came from. The only man see Jesus Christ to Mame the same Mary, or Papa the same Joseph. You won't know him Bethlehem. No, so to be no occur because he doesn't even understand. He doesn't even understand that there was a concept of a Catholic and the muno yebenya Methodism and the muno yebenya Presbyterianism and the muno chicheye and yebenya Pentecostals. One tias ye. It one of the and say the system of authority because the information, one what's not classroom will be unfam, and that is why I think to say every well-meaning Ghanaian now say democracy, yemfan to ye so, and that's why I applaud the freedom fighters. They teach a lot on their Facebook media. They teach people about say let us all be participators of democracy. Ivan, to us, mommy.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Dr. Raun. Sometimes when you are out here giving out information as a
Ivan and a train como na meka was say Monday to Monday beyond any Ivan from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Ivan, where you know,
it must terminate at the point. But what I mean,
CCA, but maybe I can say na yantinti Sasha CBM.
Me say, you have your mentality. What is space now when you are engaging talking about politics like we are doing now? Obviously, so in the end, you know, when I hear to Obama, so you see, the whole idea didn't say
there's nothing called politics.
The whole discussion must terminate at a point or to about movie, but they don't value the information aspect of it. Democracy, the biggest currency has to do with information. So my job is to give you all the relevant information you need. I'll bet so as a basal ingredient to make informed political choices. People don't see that, but they want you to stick your neck out. I had a year say, but the value, the most valuable thing information, people don't value it. But you can, without information, democracy is useless because we must still hold conversation, have a discussion, build a particular narrative around the discussion, and see the way I go. Now you can NCC, baby I bedroom. Platforms no so say NCC is a minor way of it. Dr. Ren and the media I take a center stage. This are over the years. Me catch us me growing up. So made my video 2 piece FM. The matter say NDC niti MPP niti ha. We see yana ya there no. Yana me evidence. We so say me na me ya evidence. Host to now ultimate. It is assumed that all enlightened. I'll be clear the doubt, or say, and or no on person get involved because you say or you had so you have. Maybe so already test message. So I know the day, let's go to the listener. The listener become confused because they cannot correct. So you listen to radio in a bit to be informed, to distill the doubt you have on your minds. But these radio platforms, ababa instrument a creative doubt and uncertainty around information now will consume, So how then will the person become enlightened? So that's what I'm saying. There's an microphone on multi traditional platforms, As I'm coming never boom to do a pagana for achaw because omo can who be and a Ghana Geneva be.
Oh yes.
But Dr. Ren, me no ya better radio so you can't tell my motorway. What's a Kwame Nkrumah na see Mese Rollins in the sea, na ye dia chinde gidigidi. There must be somebody reasonable. Our middle but clear.
Objective.
Because your duty is not to the panel, it is to your listeners. You clear say no. Ivan, some Ivan can say motorway and yeah Rollins in the sea. But the Dr. Rene Cano and a no cray, and these are the facts. I support to say the Dr. Rene Cano no cray. Then you clear it out. So whoever is listening will become very clear on his mind. Say motorway, Kwame Nkrumah the sea. So that day, na nipa no beti radio no when your information or they coffee, but you are not creating doubt on the mind of the person. This is what these people have failed us over the years. Growing up, yetie joy, yetie peace, and for this is the confusion these people have stirred over the years because they don't want to be seen say you belong here. But in a democracy, there are no neutrals. So you can't live in a democracy and say you are a neutral. No, we are neutral. You only adapt to the deterioration of society. You need to stick out, tell people, and always take a side. Say, I am at the side of good, not bad. And never no call wronger. You should be bold enough. And people should prioritize information. So it is not always about get the information, analyze it, because so what the 18 years a constitutional framework say we need answer. Oh, they don't know whether you have access to information or not. But to determine whether a person needs answer or not, you need information to process it. Because intelligence or more kind. When you collect raw information, you refine it. Now, with me, make sense. That is why it becomes intelligence. What I say? So you are getting the information as a reasonable human being, analyze the information, make informed choices, make informed decisions, and you will be guided. And Tinipana, say my Dr. Ren. Now, Obama who's Odin Semuna. Yeah, me and I'm a I'm not crying to me. I hear one who say yes. So when I'm telling you, say you are fooling, then I can be bold because I know say I voted for you and you're fooling. People will take me serious because I voted for you and you're fooling.
Oh, but Ghana, the beggars are disappointed MPP.
that is our problem. So I think that we need to get serious.
And all about neutral, no. I may they be a mekase. Obi obekase in the stance. Ghana politics as a journalist or a neutral no, is a lie. Number one.
Yeah.
Okaso we are neutral means that we are very you are not participating actively as a journalist. Because say you be objective and participate very strongly. You will let your opinions be heard. And the fact is that we are MPP in MPP you cannot speak your mind because at the end of the day you own your own thoughts. And I know.
Yes.
You should not allow people to control your thoughts. But in a nice way, it will bring the most solution open. And for instance, when it comes to the policy on education, but when it comes to corruption, America say from the wakachere about John Dramani Mohammed's NDC government, say ya kronfo no bomba chicho matumuno. And was seeing so I can say the president is a man without character because the free it's not in tandem with his deeds and his actions. In Timeka say president, you are a man without character because what can be far by so mechiwe. And then why you me crane mami who Kufuado was a chief no way yasi will be our no no. So these are the things I almost say factual. You can say it to buttress your point. But remember, as I'm neutral way am I well, my Ghana and everybody, we are all involved in building Ghana. So we have to be involved and make sure that our voices will be heard objectively.
Yes. And I think that is going forward, no, that is what we need to. And you see, we cannot sit here and fold our arms and say until say NDC MPP be free, Ghana. If you have that particular way, and you'll be thinking about 100 years and over. Because none of them are serious. But I am looking at a situation where if it is the NDC in our power, yes, you can be in power, but let us make sure that we hold them accountable. Obama may say up, you vote them out. You vote him out. And that is the kind of currency you hold on this political power. Because say you're trans, at the young chairman new party, Mara, besides say, when are you ready or building BB to come and take over? When are you serious or you ready so about the power? And for how long are we going to wait? We cannot wait because in governance space, even one day can change the destiny of a country. So we cannot wait for anybody. So let us get involved. It doesn't matter who is there. Let us be citizens, not spectators, and make sure, we get them to do the right thing. If they don't, we get them out.
Now, only say Ivan, when you say your time and as well, yeah, as well, yeah, yes, be down and come on, I de messages are mean and so dos, my main king can be na, yeah, may has meet me for 1 or 2 calls be on 0208 133 4646 and 0208 133 1134. Me for 1 or 2 minutes be na, ja, yede, a yen komono aberry, way every a year, a fiba or say, brother, media maccordia, fiba bete. Say this is very, very enlightening, and that's why I like listening to Rainbow Radio, especially Drive Talk, because you bring us people that will inform us, people that we can listen to them and also take 1 or 2 things and add it to our daily lives. For instance, people talk about politics, that we should not do politics, but Dr. Ren, you always say it on your radio that the prices of goods and services are always determined by the finance minister. And so because of that, I've always been loving to also engage myself in talking about politics, because if not, we get any finance minister who do not care, or any party who does not care about the plight of people, they will be burdening the people with a lot of taxes. And so, my brother, kudos, thank you so much, Midiama Nzima. Nyamli injira we know so everybody out the buy no. My making kind of message say he said that we are sitting on cash and now the cash is in their wallet. Yankonian for Ghana first. This is coming from a year Uncle Mark Rastuke. Was a big up yourself, all the freedom fighters Ghana left first. Ono so na what they buy no. Kwabna die wo kwabna enka we dey na senka wo mbranka wo frɛ ye kwabna. Sometimes the input on the other show is very, very rich. I heard a pankasa say Ghana should adjust to the type of democracy that works for Ghanaians.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Will be the na call an ebe mu aju because I was say let Ivan talk. Why is this guy still online? And no one near Bernard dia or the buy na mofa. Otuaba TV was a good day, folks. I hope you're doing very well, my sister. Ebenezer Wadada was you are absolutely right. Criminals are ruling the country, grown ups with empty heads. Hey, asembe cranie. I said Dr. Ren, the promoter. Oh yes, my brother Ivan. I am quite man so. Nah, me fat call away. Hello. Hello. Oh, call not drop is here. Caller ending with a year. Call not drop is here. Anyway, yam fa. Hello. Oh. Ivan, I'll find out where Ejabeja will answer next week, Monday. Will be say, why can't Ivan always be on our show on a regular? Ivan is here, Jumao. This year, cry ne field where see a punk of over 15,000 and no cranny can come on a whole bat. Nina, Ivan, Edia now would be giant and Sana. Okay, my
yeah, Dr. Ren, I'm saying, sir, wherever you find yourself, let's get interactive. Let us be part of the conversation, because in a democracy, in a civilized political dispensation, there are no neutrals. So we are neutral, no one take the side of either the oppressor or the cowards. But we cannot afford that, especially at this time. Ghana is at the edge of peril, and we will go to perdition, and we cannot. So let us be part of the conversation, whichever way. You see, it is not always about finding out to Obama and answer. Information alone can save us a lot of stuff. And then, a lot of people are becoming enlightened. Program is starting. Look at the number of young women or more getting interactive with you. They are following the discussion, and in the past, they don't get involved in politics in the discussion and support. And they have taken a center stage. I say we are getting somewhere. And politics, democracy is about discourse. It's about conversation. Where I can make a media Joe Biden and also back on the other side. Or let me drink my side. You see, at the end of the day, the OTA will be able to make informed that kind of democracy here. What I say. So I think that fast kind of tool and politics no join a political party and your emotional thread and what pin to a political party. You are part because you're a stakeholder and you want them to do the right thing. So at any point in time, they deviate from the core values, the principles, and why you voted for the party. You should be bold enough to call them out. That is what makes us a human being. That is also politics, and that is democracy. Democracy isn't about the MPP name in UK now. Things are better for me. Ghana never be say. You know UK, no, that is not what you're seeing here, and you are bold enough to say, Ghana Akufo-Addo is doing well. You see, you can't
Ivan, I mean, I say, enter. When him say Ghana, oh, you Ghana, no, I'm saying MPP new, we see me NDC new. When him say Ghana, no, the way MPP, no, at least almost ideology, no, almost conservative for ne echo, me guana, sanity. And so MPP, but to be do kroma no kotoaba, on to my conservative, no kotoa, my friend is a labor. I'm say, ade. Because when you say labor, we are more about nationalistic. We know, a friend is saying, "Akwentufu boa a year in terms of a house and this annual man." It is work or two about the year. We do chrome hard there, and no, or two about based on policies. One two about because they say we MPP ni. And this is where we want to drive the conversation. All right, Joseph Jumose, Iva, please, how are you doing? More fire, all from Italy, Torino, good evening, Joseph Jumo, Womao, shout out. Pajofa,
so, young to me, Cassa, ye jam a Brumaye, or many young since independence and Kaye. France, when it started, people thought first a state, second state could do it. It took the commoners to change the destiny of France to become what it is today. So you see, country, me say, me move abam, even if you are not educated, me move abam. If you are not rich, if you are even young, then as a it will take the collective will of all of us, educated or non-educated, sick or well. Your friend is saying, aged or young. It will take the concerted effort of us all to be able to move this country to where we want it to be. And to move issue no one seek knowledge, seek understanding, make your voice. Now, we name she cry na dey yard boni ade ba kwa nyankopon amfansi obi a no unko school and sana wahu striking the balance between evil and good. Na no school you cry there maka je se nipa onim nyansa no pa afa ohono dokona fa legongum famano o no mo ba fiagu because niama ye hunu wo political stages we sometimes you begin to wonder whether these people some are really educated or not, because sometimes I thought that while we see school them da kwa no free also on fast watch nipa no original office na no mete say original stays there me ma co school pa ma co school UK man me say now asem na kind of crack say na dwem ha. Now who told you so co school UK and let you say we need answer. You see, this is the kind of inferior mindset. I'm for the nana and the fact that no co school UK no a chance we need answer. But never would done a thing in answer be across original class 1 grand and nasa name. So I think that you know your potential. You're making sure that we hold leaders accountable and make this country better. That is the only way out.
I have no say you hono dokuna emfa de enka ho.
Me say obi a odi nyansa na hono dokuna odi legon kura guma odi wi obafia gu nyansa no stelemma.
Also you grand mo akwa ba yechia why late. Ebusua aha ene yedi yensempa no yedi besi. Oh boy. The level of his intelligence is fantastic and beautiful. We'll see. Dr. Ren, read this out for us. First, they came for the communist. This is coming from Papebiano, Pastor Martin Neil Mola, Germany. Asema Okaini. So first, they came for the communist, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialist. I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dabi America, when I bet me partisan politics, me partisan politics because me ya win you know. But you see, I can do partisan politics and kasa. But you see that there is a higher priority. That is Ghana.
Good.
Making sure that people have access to information and based on that they make their own choices and so forth. So that is a sacrifice some of us are making. You understand? So we should not take things for granted. You're making sure say we work and put this country on a certain pedestal. I mean, say young benefits, yeah. Generation to come or not come and suffer. To become slaves to other people. No. They must live in dignity in their own land.
Hi, Ivan. And easy you. Then Ghana for no, Anna and no, the best ever with all the time I have spent it. You train you, you educate you, na ye de obroni abefa wo moko na ye de nim de ne yansa ye de boa broni de. Ivan, thank you so much.